I'm looking forward to potentially DMing again. Because I learned a lot from Grave of Man and associated things. I feel like these giants should do, like, hella damage to houses and stuff. I definitely can't wait until I can actually start making, like, D&D assets again. Because that was fun. See, 3.5, everything is broken, which is fun if you like that. Why I usually play 5e now. My only problem with 5e was that, like, there was less you could immediately do. It was very balanced, but it felt kind of limited. I just raised a chicken from the fire. Hey, there's the Ula Mula. It's a stick. Of course it's a stick. Why wouldn't it be? I'd also like to play some other D&D systems like Shadowrun, for example. I'd really like to give Shadowrun, Call of Cthulhu, and is it Dark Heresy? I'd like to give all of those a go just to see what they're like. I think one of the other things I really liked about 3.5 and the sheer depth and breadth of, like, content that they put out for that game is just how many, like, not useful classes there are with really interesting roleplay potential. How about Vampire the Masquerade? Maybe that too. My problem with Vampire the Masquerade is it always felt a little bit too... I don't know if odd would be the right word. Shell was kind of putting together a Vampire the Masquerade campaign, which got kind of nixed when we stopped being friends with the previous group. We might she might revisit it, but she's busy with other stuff anyway. But I would like to do Vampire the Masquerade. I mean, I'm not exactly gonna say one future of my YouTube channel is actually doing like a whole bunch of tabletop gaming, but that is actually something that I would very much like to do. Is actually have, you know, maybe not multiple rotating campaigns, but like a bunch of D&D campaigns going along. Because they're fun. Well, not D&D, tabletop games going on simultaneously. I guess I should probably help instead of just sitting here. My problem is, me helping usually involves me getting stabbed by somebody. Whereas I can just kind of sit around and die. Yeah, unfortunately the giants aren't very strong, but they've got an AoE to them, which more or less makes them incredibly powerful against these guys. They're not gonna clear groups very fast, but oh boy. Do they never die, which is amazing. Let's see, Dark Heresy is okay, same thing with Rogue Trader, but of the Warhammer 40k tabletop RPGs, I prefer Dark Crusade and Death Watch, which both offer the option of playing as Space Marines. Yeah, I'd have to do some major research. I'm actually... I don't know too much about Warhammer at all. I'm going to be learning as I go along. But, like, I think tomorrow is when Chaos Bane actually is playable. So we're going to be learning a little bit of regular Warhammer as well. What is their regeneration rate? They're at full constantly. It's 5% per second. And they've got 20,000 HP. 5% of 20,000 is what? 400 HP a second? I think so. Yeah, whenever I do Call of Cthulhu. Absolutely. I mean, straight up, if I can find a decent group of people, you know, experienced YouTube commentators, and I'm not already running a campaign, I would absolutely run, I mean, honestly, any campaign type or tabletop RPG game. I don't know. Call of Cthulhu, sure. Shadowrun, absolutely. Warhammer, why not? I mean, it would take some learning, and I'm sure my house rules by the end of all of these would get kind of crappy. I'm not a big fan of, like, extreme house rules, but there are some that I mess around with just because it makes things a little easier. I'm much more of a, I'm not going to say a shared EXP style, but I know a lot of people are really mad at me for the Grave of the Man campaign that I did, because I wasn't allocating not stat points, EXP out to the players for various actions. I've never found that to be particularly fair. I prefer milestone based because it feels better. I don't know. Let's see. Don't play Masquerade. Requiem is better. Creators of Vampire created a series of connected books. Their second iteration, New World of Darkness, is quite well done. Mage is utterly broken. I don't know which I would do. We were supposed to do, like I said, we were supposed to do Vampire the Masquerade with the latest edition that came out. But, yeah, that never took off, unfortunately. Let's see. Wonder if you ever played Tibia or Ragnarok? Nope. No, I never got into those. I don't even know what Tibia is. I played RuneScape. That was my thing. EXP works best in situations where your plot progression is very vague and loose. There's no direct path for your characters to follow. I just don't like it because depending on how EXP is handed out, so I guess if we want to talk about problem players and situations like that, the guy that introduced me to D&D when I was a kid, neighbor across the street, kid by the name of Michael. And we all played D&D, like the whole neighborhood. Every kid on my half of the block was really into D&D because we were all kind of just like one big group. And D&D was rad. And so we all would play together. And unfortunately, like, you kind of run the gamut with a lot of people. You run the gamut with a lot of people who play these games. Especially when you're kids. So we had, like, I think 7 different campaigns running even simultaneously sometimes. I was DMing some, my brother would DM some. Neighbor across the street would DM some, that was usually his older brother. And everybody had, like, different habits and whatnot. And so, even though he introduced me to D&D, I wouldn't say the guy was particularly good at it. Or a great player to be around, I'm not entirely sure. But I very distinctly remember a campaign where EXP was doled out based on, like, participation and stuff. And not just participation, but also, like, it was uneven. So if you were a, you know, if you did something cool, you get a bunch of extra EXP. And it'd be like, yay! And so, you know, one player might level faster than the other. Unfortunately, that meant, I think, what was it? I think the DM was kind of unfair to the cleric, because the cleric would just heal, which is like, that's just their job, they're not going above and beyond. So, unfortunately, they got kind of bullied. Why is this gate locked? There's no lever for me to open it, either. Alright. So your giant is about to die. I mean, oh well, it's not that big of a deal. But, let's see. On this way? I guess there's still a house up here. Let's see. But yeah, so, not only I think did this neighbor kid across the street end up with somehow, like, a bunch more EXP than everybody else, I think he also started at a higher level. And he was like an evil necromancer character. So, pretty much we did one session with this campaign, where I more or less had to stop at the end of it and be like, all he's doing is just, like, torturing our characters into doing his bidding. Like, this isn't fun. And we had to have a conversation about no more EXP in campaigns because it's ruining D&D for us. And there was a bit of a split there. Interestingly enough, that was okay, but official rulebooks were not. So, I don't know how many of you guys ever got your hands on Savage Species. But that was, like, one of my favorite D&D books back in the day, because I loved playing monster characters. Because there are interesting things you could do. I think I really liked, like, Mind Flayers or whatever. And Minotaurs. Mind Flayers and Minotaurs, I think, were my two go-to. And, so we had, like, this big argument about whether or not Savage Species, an official Wizards of the Coast book, by the way, was an official Wizards of the Coast book. And more or less I stopped playing with half the group because their specific DM, the neighbor across the street's older brother, vehemently refused to acknowledge any book that he himself hadn't bought first. So, like, the way it would work is, you know, he would find 3.5, and he's like, oh man, 3.5's out, we gotta do this, and I'd be like, cool. And then I'd find some more books, like, what is it? What was the book in, what was the book for 3.5 where they introduced warlocks? Was that, oh man, I don't even remember which one that was. Wait, holy crap, is that 8% of max HP per net? Yeah, it is. That's a thing of beauty. Can't sell quest item, whoops. Oh, it's a good thing I can't sell quest items. That would go badly. That's better. Yeah, complete arcane. Is it? Or unearthed? It wasn't unearthed arcana. It was probably one of the complete ones. But yeah, so he had gotten the first like 3.5 books, and then I started getting the other books. My brother and I would go halvesies on D&D books, and pretty much only spent our allowance on video games and D&D books for years. So we ended up with a really large supply of D&D books. Because my parents had a deal with us that they would also go halvesies on any book, D&D or just like novels, because they didn't want us playing video games as much. So they would go halvesies with us on books. So pretty much we could buy 2 D&D books a month on our allowance. I think that's what it boiled down to, and it was actually quite nice. And so I ended up with complete arcane or whatever it was, the book with warlocks, and same thing with savage species. And effectively, because I had found them first, they didn't count. They were illegal books for this guy, and it was frustrating because it was like, but no, they're Wizards of the Coast. Like there were definitely some like off-brand books that we picked up along the way. A bunch of the swords and sorcery books were particularly, I'm gonna say those were not legit. There's some wild shit in there, that should never have been anything. There was some wild shit in some of the, like, weird side hand manuals, too. I remember there was one for, like, melee characters, paladins, monks, fighters, and rangers, I think. And I think there was one specifically for, like, a jouster character that could do 5 times as much damage on a charge. And so I had a centaur character to fulfill the requirements of, I have a horse. And so I had a centaur character that always was always charging and doing obscene amounts of damage. It was fun. I liked him. But yeah, that dude sounds like a dick. He was. That family had some weird problems. Let's see, so with the HP regen, is there a minimum amount of health you look for in your army? Anything... I mean, honestly, anything below 10,000 is probably not acceptable for undead in this game. Which really kind of limits you down to boss monsters and giants. See, I feel like a GM requiring you to get a go-ahead on using new books. But that assumes they'd be saying yes, at least some of the time. Yeah, I'd be fine with a GM saying, no, you know, I want to keep things focused and down. But no, his argument was because he hadn't found them first, they weren't okay. And because he hadn't found them first, they somehow weren't official D&D books. That was kind of where it got weird. Third-party stuff, though, absolutely I can understand, like, limiting it. Not even third party. So I had a friend, another problem player, with a subscription to Dragon Magazine for years. And he wasn't necessarily a bad guy, but he was kind of an alpha nerd. He liked to show off how smart he was, and he liked to show off outthinking other people, because that was how he enjoyed life, I guess. And so he he really enjoyed coming up with weird, actually kind of cool builds from using stuff from Dragon Magazine and like extreme first party, but like extreme side content. And so he had a character that every time he did like an intimidation check or whatever, it severely injured, well, not severely, it lightly injured everybody in the area, but he was effectively running around being spooky constantly, which was literally just killing a party and killed one of my characters. And so I had, the next character was a ranger with an extremely high perception check, because he was hiding the fact that he was harming everybody. Okay. So, areas under construction, can't go in. So I effectively rolled a character that, yes, obviously was a direct counter to his, because his character had straight up just killed my previous one. And I was kind of frustrated about that, so I just made a character who effectively was like Legolas plus. He did not have a very original backstory. Do not steal. But, so, the first time he tried doing his sneaky, like, hee, I'm going to intimidate everybody, and everybody feels like a sharp pain. My character, like, directly notices that he's intentionally doing this. I'm like, I'm just gonna shoot him. You know, I'm the new guy, and I don't like this, so I'm just gonna outright, like, plink him with a bunch of arrows, for attacking me like this. And what do you know, his character was a complete glass cannon, so I killed him in one round. Sounds like he liked lording over people. He absolutely did. I'm not gonna say I disliked the guy, but he definitely was the kind of person that would, he was definitely the kind of person that would really drive away new people. And he had some problems, I think. I know he more or less dropped out of, if I remember right, he dropped out of college to pursue a a career in dance. Which works if you're obscenely attractive or extremely good at what you do. He was neither. I think he was vaguely adequate at both. My brother went to dancing with him. He's like, I mean, he's okay, but I don't know how you make money with this. And that's the last I know about the guy. And, like, I could totally understand, like, not knowing what to do with your future and ending up with, like, some kind of weird, bizarro job. I'm just not sure if you can actually make money with dance. Or boss Grok. Ghostman bring Grok Ula Mula. Grok be big boss and tell Horde to attack. Ghostman stay here and look. Horde not as nice as Grok. Hey, thank you Only Tio for the 2-month resub. Thank you. I wonder if we just straight up kill War Boss Grok after this. We probably do, actually. No more tower. Grok open gate now. Ghostman go kill Cromar. Cromar have key to Humi land. Do we fight them? Yep, we fight them. Get them. Smush'ems. But no, I will admit my D&D stories are kind of random, just because I've moved around so much. I've never actually been in one state long enough to have like a consistent group. I'm hoping, kind of with internet stuff and, you know, me reaching out a little bit more, I can actually start changing that around a little bit. Let's get rid of one of these tents. I could get up to level 12. I don't really need to go that far, but still. Let's hope I don't get ganked while I'm here. I don't know. I can't wait to play D&D again. Sooner than later. I keep saying, like, once I've moved into my new place, once I'm done with this. There's a lot of qualifiers, but a lot of the qualifiers are straight up just like, I'm not even going to be home, for, you know, a whole week this month, so I don't really want to plan or, like, try and approach anybody on anything. Because it gets stressful trying to, like, put together a D&D campaign, for example. Especially with, like, you know, custom art assets. Because no matter what, when I do a D&D campaign, I go overboard with the art. That's just how I work. Ooh, seems like the ice elemental might be worthwhile. Because he's got an AoE. He doesn't do a whole lot of damage, though, but maybe I could get a bunch of them. I don't know. Let's see. Onwards! See, where are you going for a week? Not been in a loop with the news. I'm just going to PAX. I'll be streaming for all but, like, 3 days of it, because I'm probably not going to be able to stream the day I fly out, the day I fly back, and then at least one party at PAX. Otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to be terribly social. I might. My main thing is I don't know anybody in the Northeast, period. I know there are some people that might be going, like I might meet up with Dragast and company. Assuming he goes this year. But it varies. Dude, don't forget to pack some hand sanitizer. Oh, what? Because of all the disease outbreaks? I mean, technically I'm pretty close to ground zero for one. Hello! Oh no, it doesn't have mana. That doesn't have mana drain. No, that's an amazing dagger though. Well, I guess I might as well use it anyway. I'm not even using the mana drain anymore. Alright, it's stabbing time again. Cripes, this straight up just ain't worth it. At least we get the Wasteland key. And let's level up. So, do we go sword? It looks like sword gets me the most amount of command, so, yeah, sure. Infamous PAX Plague. I actually have never gotten sick from PAX. I've been to, what is it, 5 PAXs now? Have never once gotten sick. I'm not going to say my immune system is kind of random, but I usually only get sick kind of on my own accord, and usually from food. Like, I went down to PAX South. I had headaches at the time, but that was just because we were eating like garbage and not sleeping as well as I think either of us would have liked. And I get headaches when I'm in, like, really dry areas, and so, like, conventions can be a bit of a problem. But that's much more of a just, like, I need to lay down for tonight and then wake up tomorrow feeling fine. As opposed to, like, anything actually considerable. Okay, what is this one? Extra coin loot, reduced DPS. I should clear this out while we're here. Extra attack speed, reduced damage. That might be helpful. Because with the giants, they're slow anyway. I don't know. But no, I've been to Anime Boston like 500 million times. I've been to PAX. I've been to Toricon a bunch. I've been to Katsucon a bunch. I'm curious. I could potentially get like a Ring of Haste for these giants. I'm kind of tempted now just to see what kind of ridiculous nonsense I could get to. Let's see. Oh yay, free mana. I really like the giant swarm. At some point we're going to run into something that stops me here. But until then, I'm just going to abuse the crap out of this. I still wish this game had some more interesting, like, interesting effects on the weapons. They're not terrible, but it's also one of those where... Oh. I think that actually, that attack speed boost actually affects me as well. I had no idea. Let's see. Good here. Send them back this direction. I want more command points so I can get more giants. It's probably a bad idea, but I don't know. Okay. Probably send them this direction. I think we just got the key for this gate, yeah? Yeah. I wonder how much content is missing from this game. It's in early access. It looks like there's a couple of, like, you know, in-progress areas. But I'm kind of curious about, how much they have left to go. Or if they're just gonna, like, add 500 million new areas to the map at some point. That would be cool. I do hope they do a little bit more, like, fine-tuning and build stuff.
Gather here.
But I'm not gonna say I'm in no rush, but, like, I don't know. They can do that whenever. So we're back at skeletons worshipping the almighty chicken. Unfortunately, the almighty chicken has fallen. Now it's just big dudes with rocks. So, this is the Church of the Unholy Swole again. I mean, really, I'm just kind of here to watch the Unholy Swole unfold, but still. I guess I kind of facilitate it. So is there a story to this? Not really. It's mostly just like, you were a necromancer entombed in an urn for 10,000 years or something like that. And there's too many living beings on this planet, so you're coming along to take revenge for being locked away, / like, eradicate all the living. I hope they expand it more, but still. And no more chickens, darn it. I know, I was kind of disappointed. I really wish all unit types were viable in this game. And we're all just, like, interesting side grades of each other. Because I'm a little disappointed I can't just have the giant chicken horde of death and destruction, because that would be amazing.
Follow my blade, the living.
I would have so much fun with that. Like, straight up easy example would be like, if you could make the chickens explosive and tie them to whatever your spell staff is or something like that. So every time they die, they explode or something and take everybody out around them. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, kind of like the necromancer from Gungeon. Yeah! Oh man, that was a fun build to run. Let's see. The music from the game. Yeah, this is just the generic game music. I'd switch it, but it's not so bad. I don't know. I feel like this is the story of your character from Graveyard Keeper after the game is over and he dies. You know, it's not far off, honestly.
Follow my lead.
No spoilers on Graveyard Keeper. Still on the 4th episode. Oh boy. That is the 4th out of 86 episodes. Have fun with that one. That's a long series. Let's see. Well, Ring of the Vampire. Might as well. Let's get rid of the precise dagger. Everything is good. Onwards!
These lands shall be ours soon.
Okay, congratulations. You've reached the end of the early access version. Well, I guess there's our answer. Well, I don't think there's anything else actually for me to do right now. I think we did just straight up clear this game. Well, what is currently available. So, I guess plan is, obviously I can't do anything else in game, at least for now. So what we're probably going to do is just sit on this game and wait until the 1.0 version. And then probably come back to it. I'll probably start over at that point. I want to see everything that they've done to change things. And I always hate, like, picking up a series after the early access period, from, like, where I had left off. There's a couple of games where it works, but most it doesn't. The Wise Book. Extra EXP. Well, there's nobody left. Technically, if I'd left an area still alive, what I could have done, if I was thinking, I guess, back there is actually just left, you know, left it untouched, and you know, not killed everything and effectively just let my giants perpetually just eliminate things to see how high of a level we could get if we played this like an idle game. But, nah. Let's not do that. So there's a bunch of units we still haven't run into. Amazon Warrior, Elite Barbarian, Templar, and Paladin. I guess those are in the game. We also have the, like, Barbarians and regular Amazons. We do have the Giants, which are ridiculous. Let's go take a look at Grok. Gronk? I don't know. How tough is this sucker? Command value, 170. DPS is way high. Hit points are a lot. Pricey to summon, though. I don't like the fact that these cost money, because they're honestly not worth it, especially because they have the chance of dying. If it was one of those where instead of rezzing the dead that you kill, you just constantly resummon the same enemy, same units over and over and over again, then I could understand the financial cost to like unlock the unit to just perpetually resummon. But as it stands, it's kind of hard for me to want to say, like, yeah, let's spend 5,000 on resummoning, say, my chicken. Especially because when you quit out of the game, all of your dudes get unsummoned, which is rough. I don't really like that. There's some things that can be done for this game, but all in all, it's fun for the time being. And I had a good time doing this, like, little early access series. I guess I'll see you all in 1.0, whenever that happens. Probably in the next year or so. I don't know.